Hi, everyone. I'm Katie Staten, the Customer Success Manager for East United States. I directly cover Indiana, Michigan, and Ohio. Taranis has really helped me work with my clients in knowing before they go, not necessarily knowing what's happening in their field right at that given time, but also knowing before you go to the combine so that you can make sense of what's happening on that yield monitor by telling that story throughout time without even having to go to different platforms. As you can see on my screen here, I have a grower that is in the Ohio area. He's getting ready to go and start harvesting soybeans that he had planted early and wants to get everything in line before he actually climbs up into the cab with his combine. So here we're going to go up and sort by soybeans. And then I see that we're having some disease pressure, which is some late season diseases might have shown up in some of his fields. So we can further filter there and then see that we have a top disease pressure in this specific field. 92% of the field is covered with a given disease. We can expand that timeline out and see we didn't really see any diseases at the beginning of the season or mid-season, but something happened here that turned much, much later. Our weed control got much better. We made an application and the residual was probably starting to wear out towards late season, but that is okay because the beans were already canopied and everything was being covered throughout the field. But I'm really concerned here about this field and also about this field because it seems to be the same story. Weeds were present in the very beginning. We did an application or two and then seemed to have taken care of that throughout the season. But again, no diseases, very minimal, and then boom, something's happening in this field. So going through the combine, looking at the monitor without understanding what happened throughout the season of this field might be a little bit questionable and concerning because we don't really know what happened. But here we can go directly into that field, pull up the high resolution imagery that we're seeing brown stem rot, leaf spot, and sudden death syndrome in this field. We can click on any one of these images here, and then we can see how everything is looking from an aerial point of view. We can see some discoloration happening and the direct tagging of some diseases on the top of the canopy. You can see some more discoloration throughout the field, and that's probably where that brown stem rot is taking place, and that could be a large yield effect coming through that monitor. So here, this aids the conversation for later on in the season as we're making plans for next year. Do we need a specific disease-tolerant hybrid for this field when we do soybeans again in 2 years? Are we going to put the same variety back on that field, or do we need to look at something different? And what kind of fungicide applications or other nutrient applications do we need to make sure that we are taking care of this field the best that we can? That is how I like to use Taranis as know before you go.